Having dealt with a large part of the Katrina effort here in Texas, knowing that we had a lot of people in and out, we had no way at that time to verify who they were or what agency they were with.
We were behind a curve, and it was a nightmare trying to identify and prove that all those people were actually legitimate public servants there to do the right thing.
This certainly would be a great help to us to be able to very quickly be able to verify their credentials, their authority, and put them to use in a short amount of time.
And the help of this drill today, we're now able to get to where we want to be with positively identifying first responders to emergency situations.
Should we be overwhelmed, or we need volunteers, or we need additional physician or nurse assistance, we need to know that that assistance is coming from a real person who is the person they say they are and who can do the work for which they're trained.
So the winter storm exercise involved the all hazards community: fire and rescue, protection, medical service, military and National Guard, transportation and hazmat, infrastructure, federal, state and local authorities, volunteers, service providers such as banks, and resident, tribal and NGO communities.
Okay, sir, I need you to enter your PIN number, please.
During the exercise, participants face FRAC card checks when they enter the security perimeter. Again as they enter the emergency command center.
Okay, great.
And a third time as they leave the perimeter.
It's designed to show you the process that an average first responder would go through in terms of responding to and then coming out of an incident site. And it's those levels of checks that are capturing him in, processing him in, identifying him in the overall incident command system, and then how we would process that person back out.
The FRAC trust model among federal, state, local, and private sector jurisdictions must work in both routine and emergency use. In other words, agencies at all levels can use it as an everyday identity and access credential within their jurisdictions. And then when there's a major incident, resources can respond from anywhere in the country. And incident commanders can know all about them, who they are, where they are, and what they can do.
San Antonio has 5 military bases, so bringing those military personnel into our Emergency Operations Center for the first time ever, we actually knew exactly who they were.
Once they have the full operability with the CAC cards, we'll be able to see immediately what qualifications they have and specifically when they got to locations and what they're being used for.
An important example of private sector participation in the FRAC system is Crowley Maritime Corporation, the largest privately owned shipping company in the U.S. and the operator of the Ready Reserve Force ships used by the U.S. Armed Forces.
For our private facility, if we had a chemical release here of one of our tank tankers, the people coming to the gate would be able to provide a credential that showed they had a reason to be here, that they were part of a response team, and the person at the gate wouldn't be forced to make a human decision. That decision would be made for them, assuming that they had the proper hardware to read the card.
In Pittsburgh, the Pennsylvania Region 13 Emergency Response Group participated. Agencies from 13 counties and the city of Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, Washington Hospital, Emergency Medical Services, and several other medical facilities.
I need to be able to identify somebody immediately. This system does that. So I would have, from my own experience, understand what the meaning of the card that I'm holding here is.
In San Antonio, representatives from the U.S. Air Force, the 5th U.S. Army, U.S. Armed Forces Northern Command, local police and fire departments, the Office of Emergency Management, and other local and state agencies were involved.
Obviously, you've interfaced with the DoD cloud server, whatever you want to call it. I was impressed. I thought you're going to need me to come down and validate my credentials beforehand, and you didn't need to, and that was kind of cool.
All the data and critical infrastructure information collected in these centers affected by the winter storm credible threat, data and information collected through the FRAC system, is aggregated through an encrypted collection system, which provides commanders with a human resource situational awareness profile, projected in this exercise on an interactive map of the U.S. Commanders know exactly what resources have responded to the threat and where they're deployed. Following the winter storm exercise, the need is clear. Guidelines have been established. Technology's been developed. In these exercises, we see that it works. And now with more information and knowledge, implementation is beginning to move forward.
You've got to have buy-in. And that buy-in gives us the leverage and the force multiplier to achieve our ultimate goals, which is effective, real-time, critical incident management.
Mission Critical is brought to you by...
The Any era is here, and as networks around the world converge to fuel this remarkable transformation, one company will operate the intelligent infrastructure that'll make it all happen. VeriSign.
When disasters strike, chaos ensues. Organize, respond, verify, and control access with CoreStreet. Critical information for critical decisions.
Sage Morpho.